Everybody. It's Lucy and Rebecca from Orca Information. And we're just trying to get out some YouTube videos, I guess that's what you call them,
Mhm.
with information regarding the industry.
That's
During the
correct.
week when we're working, we get lots of calls and lots of questions. And so we wanted to address some of those questions in these videos. They're going to be about 20 minutes long. They're going to be very informal. We're not going to be doing any editing. So if you hear noise in the background, just ignore it. We got our coffee. We
I
are like
oh,
down home, having fun, chatting by the fireside. So Lucy has a question that she has found to be asked quite often. So she's going to ask me the question, and I'm going to do my best to answer it, and she's going to chime in from time to time. Okay, Lucy, your turn.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Yes, we are going to start off the series with one of our top questions that we always tend to receive.
Okay.
And that question is, what is adverse action?
What is adverse action? Well, it's a fancy name for doing something to someone for good reason or bad reasons that's negative, that affects someone negative. Or maybe somebody affects you negatively, something they said or something they did, and then you have had adverse action taken against you. But a lot of people refer to it in the screening world or in the landlord world as denying an applicant a rental, or in the employment background check world, it's the employer that has to tell an applicant, gee, you don't fully qualify for this job based on the information that we have pulled or received from our background check company, our background screening company. So adverse action in the world of tenants, in the world of landlords, can be three different things, typically.
Okay.
One of them could be that when, after you do the background check and you get everything together on this applicant who's trying to rent a place from you, the landlord, and you see that they don't fully qualify. Okay, so you may ask for an increased deposit, or you may ask for a cosigner. That is adverse action. Anything other than a straight, clear acceptance of tenancy based on the information that you've received on the background check is considered adverse action. If it's not a straight acceptance based on the information you got on the screening report, then you've taken adverse action. It also means that if you deny somebody tenancy, that too is adverse action. Now, as Lucy or probably anybody in my office will tell you when you call about adverse action, after we do process a screening report and we post it on your viewing site, and you review that report and you see that they don't qualify, you may need a cosigner, you may need to ask for a increased deposit, or you may just need to deny them the tenancy. Then you are required, let me repeat that, the landlord, and this also goes for employers when you hire someone, you are required to get some documents and give them to the applicants that you are taking adverse action on. Okay.
That's correct.
And these are documents that we are going to post at the bottom of this show, and we're going to make them available to you. Lucy, do you have them in your hand by chance that you could kind of hold it up a little bit?
I do not.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay, because it'll be at the bottom of the screen. But you have federal adverse action letter that's already made out for you, and you have Washington State. If we're doing a background check for you in the state of Washington, you have to include both federal and Washington State adverse action letters. And you have to send those to the applicants. This is not something that Orca does. We can do it if your applicant calls us, asks us a question about what's on their report, or they can't get a hold of you and they're really wondering why they don't qualify. They've gotten wind of it somehow. We're happy to send that adverse action letters, those letters, to them for you. However, in the law or in the regulations, the landlord and the employer, if they're trying to hire somebody, are what's called, it's kind of another, name that you got to kind of remember, a new language. It's called the end user.
The end
Who
user.
is the end, right, Lucy? Who is the end user of a report, Lucy?
The
Who is
end user is the client. It would be the landlord.
the landlord or the employer is considered by TransUnion, by the FTC, by your legislative bodies that make all these crazy rules. They consider the landlord and the employer the one making the final decision, the one receiving, the last one to receive or to put their hands on that background check. They're the end user of the report. They are required by law to give these letters to the person that doesn't fully qualify or is getting denied. So, Lucy, don't we make those letters available, easy for our clients to access and to send to the applicants? Can you talk about that?
Yes, that is correct, Rebecca. So in our system, we have the form available for all of our clients to actually fill it out. As once the report is complete, it would be on the landing page on the report directly. If they just need to scroll down halfway down the page, they'll see a documents and acknowledgement window where they'll be able to select the drop down button, and it's under adverse action. That's the name of the title of that form. Once you click on it, all of our clients will be able to type in their reasons or select the reasons why an applicant was denied. And they can either print it off, mail it off to the applicant. It is auto-filled with the applicant's information, mailing address, name, and it also comes with the Washington and the federal consumer rights disclosures.
Yeah, and Lucy's saying adverse action, consumer rights. These letters are also called consumer rights letters.
Correct.
And Lucy, would you tell them one more time where they can find that adverse action or
Correct.
consumer rights letter so that they can send it out in our system? What page is it?
It is on the main report, on the landing page of a report results.
So you see where you go to view the report.
Correct.
You then would scroll down.
You'll
is that right?
Scroll down. So it's not the actual screening result page. It's the page right before it. It's the applicant's report. You'll see everything listed in sections. You'll see where you'll be able to click and access the criminal records, credit report references. On that main page, you'll be able to scroll down kind of halfway through. And there's going to be two boxes. One will be attachments, and right next to it would be disclosures and acknowledgement. I believe that's what it says.
And when it's called adverse action.
Yes, you'll select on the drop down box, and there's a list of items that we have readily available for our clients. The first one is adverse action.
Okay, remember that, everybody. Adverse action, that's what it's called by the FTC and the legislative bodies. And it's also known as consumer rights. But on what you're going to be viewing to find this adverse action, it's going to be called adverse action, and it's down a little further from where you would normally view the screening report. Very easy. Now, Lucy said that you can email it to the applicant, but first there's little boxes in either the Washington or the federal, I can't remember which one, letter, and you're required to mark off what some of the reasons, or actually all the reasons, why you denied the applicant. Was it because of credit? Was it because of references? Was it because of something else? And then you can type that in. And she also said that it's self-populated. with the name of the applicant already in there. So you don't really have to do anything other than list why you turn them down. Now, why they may not qualify. Let me stress on this one something.
Okay.
Mark everything down, every reason why your applicant does not qualify. For example, let's say you have somebody that has he is a lifetime registered sex offender and he has bad credit, really bad credit. This is just one scenario. And he has no references. You can't get any of the references for whatever reasons. Now, what may stand out to a lot of our clients is, oh my God, he's a lifetime registered sex offender, and you found out that it was for rape of a child. Okay, so that's kind of scary. Sometimes our clients, isn't this true, Lucy? They will mark off the one thing that just jumps out at them. In this case, it would be lifetime registered sex offender, or on the form, I believe it refers to criminal records or court records. And they mark that off and then they send it to the applicant. The applicant thinks, oh, that's the only reason why I didn't qualify. That's a big, big, big mistake. Make sure that you fill in every reason possible in those boxes on that letter for the reasons why they were why they didn't qualify. Okay.
We do see that happen quite often.
Now, Lucy, on the adverse action letters that you send, do the screeners in the office, do they always also tell the clients that they can send along with those letters a copy of the report, or they send the adverse action letters to the applicant and then wait to see if the applicant wants a copy of their report? How is that done?
Correct. So here at the office, we recommend the clients to send the adverse action letters to the applicants, and then ask afterwards if they would like to receive a copy of the report. We encourage our clients to have their applicants give us a call so we can provide that to them.
Okay, so say that one more time. You do what?
We ask our clients to have the applicant contact us directly so we can send them a copy of their report.
Okay, but the client can send them
Correct. They can send them a copy of the report. Yes, that is a capability that they are able to do through our website directly. Actually, if an applicant has an email and the applicant asks them directly for a copy of the report, they are able to send that consumer copy to them directly.
So, but they don't do it when they send the initial adverse action letter. They wait until
after
receives that report, and then they would send the report, the background check, if the applicant asks to see a copy.
Correct.
Okay, or the applicant can call us. Okay.
Correct.
So you said that the client, both employment or tenant client, can send the applicant a copy of the report by email. Isn't it kind of tricky with emails? I mean, some emails are for I've seen emails to a UPS store or to a secretarial service, or emails can be generic. Isn't that kind of a problem with security?
It can be. We only send information to an email address provided directly by the applicant. So if they feel comfortable enough to receive that information, they would provide us the email address or the client, and they would upload that onto the system. Yes, emails can be unsecure. However, how we send this information, how it's transmitted, it's not the actual physical copy of the report as an attachment. It is an invitation that is sent out to the applicant to where they come to our secure website. They have to verify their identity by answering certain questions.
Perfect.
Correct. And then once they pass the verification of identity portion, then they'll have access to the report in full directly into our secure system.
Okay, so it doesn't have to, when the client sends them if the client sends a copy of the report, or we do, then it doesn't have to be their personal email address. It can just be whatever email address they say they're
They have
comfortable
access.
with,
They have access to, correct.
because they're going to verify their identity once they're being invited to see their report.
Correct.
They're not actually being sent the report.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
And also to let you know, that link that is sent to them, that link, as soon as they click on it, it's only active for 24 hours. Now,
Okay.
there are some stipulations. Let's say the email is sent out to them, they haven't clicked that link. That email itself will be active for 5 days.
Okay.
The link, as soon as they click on the link, 24 hours. Not only that, but we have other security features that are that have been added onto the system. So you are able to view the report as many times as you like within those 24 hours.
Okay.
You are able to print it off for
Okay.
your own records. The
Okay.
only thing that it will not let you do is to save a copy of your report on any device.
Okay.
You can't
Good.
save it on
Well, that's
your
good.
laptop, tablet. You can't screenshot it. You can't shot the page. Um, it won't let you. It's a security feature because it does contain your credit report and other personal information.
Okay, I have a question. Uh, when a client, how often does a client use the let's say we have somebody, an applicant,
Okay.
who calls us and says, I hear I was denied tenancy. Why was I denied tenancy? How often does a client, um, what am I trying to get at? I'm trying to get at I know that I've heard from my own experience and
Okay.
what you've told me, Lucy, and other people, or the other staff in the office, that's oftentimes clients will not use the adverse action letters first
Correct.
to inform the applicant that they do not fully qualify for the unit. In other words, they're in such a hurry to move on to the next person that they'll call the applicant and say, or email them and say, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. And it was because of this and or this or this or this, or maybe they say it was because you're bad credit, or they'll just name one out of many reasons. So how often does that happen? Because we know, and we need our clients to know, that the first way to inform your applicant that they have not qualified is with those adverse action letters. And there's a really good reason for that. Even though it may slow down a little bit, you letting them know that they don't qualify. I know you're anxious to move on to another person. However, there are so many laws and regulations out there now, especially in Washington State, Oregon, California, that we need to follow the regulations accordingly. Because if a client's called into court, they're going to be held accountable for every little slip up for not having the right form, every little slip up for not following the right process. So how often do we get calls where the applicant tells us, the denied applicant, that that they've never received the adverse action letter, but they know they've been told that they don't qualify? How often?
How often do we get those calls? So I know that we get them. It's not quite as often as you may think.
Oh, good. I thought it was like every day.
No, not every day. I
Okay.
think I would say like maybe a couple times a month.
Okay, good.
And when that occurs, we take it upon ourselves to reach out to the client and educate them and make them aware of adverse action and the importance of it. It's not only a requirement by law, but it's also informing them that it's really a stepping stool for protection for themselves, us as a screening company, and it's informing the applicant correctly on how to obtain information.
Exactly, their rights, their
Correct, their rights.
Because adverse action was taken.
Correct.
Perfect. So we're going to shut this down now on this particular topic, everybody. We want to let you know once again that if you look at the bottom of this video, you are going to see a federal adverse action letter and a Washington state adverse action. If you're in Washington, you'll need to use that. And if you have any questions about those, these are available to whoever wants to access this YouTube, client or not client. If you have any questions about it, please let us know, and always go back to these videos for help in remembering what you can and cannot do legally and to follow the regulations. And we hope this has been helpful. And
Thank
stick
you.
with us. We've got lots of topics. We're coming back, and we'll see you soon. Bye from Orca. Bye.
Bye bye.